Slut dumpsters.
Hey guys, welcome to More Than Missionary. Before we start the show, we have a little disclaimer.
We are not licensed psychologists, therapists, life coaches, sex coaches, etc. We are literally two humans who like to talk about sex and share stories and experiences that might be relatable to you or someone you know, so we can all become more knowledgeable in the practices of safe and fun sex.
Enjoy the show.
Well, we're back. Welcome to another episode of More Than Missionary. We are your hosts. I'm Kristina.
I'm Ashley.
And today we are going to be talking about sex magic. Magic.
It's so magical.
It's magical. Cue rainbow over our heads. I have many questions. Ashley has quite a bit of information, as I can see on her iPad over here.
There's a lot here. There's a lot here.
This is something that I have been fascinated by, and I follow a couple TikTok accounts who talk about it, but you have to like sign up for, you have to like sign up and pay for classes in order to like really understand it. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm broke. I can't do that.
That's fair.
So, but I'm very excited for today's episode.
So what's funny about what I have on my iPad right now, this is all, like I was trying to make a quick little snapshot of Sex Magick for like a couple of different things. And as you can see, this snapshot got very long in detail. And I really...
That's an entire report.
I know.
That's like a school report.
I'm sorry.
Your college professors would be proud.
I'm sure they would.
They're like, why didn't you try this hard in school?
Right. So I have it broken down into a few different categories. The first one is astrology. The second one is crystals. The third one is herbs. The fourth one is manifestation, and then overall spell work.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like the thing that I am aware of is more the manifestation part of things.
Okay.
Like I know very, very basic things about manifestation and sex magic, especially like when it comes to self-pleasure.
Yeah.
But I everything else, very new to me. Like I think there are, I'm sure if I could make an educated guess on certain crystals, that would be helpful, but like I wouldn't know how to like utilize that.
Okay.
In practice. So.
Okay. So I'm going to start with astrology. So the 5th, 7th, and 8th houses hold significant astrological significance when it comes to love and relationship houses. The 5th house represents romance, creativity, and playfulness. The 7th house reflects partnership, commitment, and balance. And the 8th house delves into intimacy, transformation, and shared resources.
Can you quickly go over what, like, in astrology, what are houses?
Okay, so you did your astrological sign or whatever, yes. Your numerology chart, sorry. And I was able to pull up information for yours as well so that I could kind of dive into it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, okay,
That's why I asked you for
I was wondering why you asked me. I was like, sure. I'm like, I have it.
Yeah. So the house is basically when and where you were born. It shows what the astrological planets and signs, how they match up, and then how they kind of integrate themselves into your life and who you are as a person. I would say that you can't take everything for what it is. I think it's always great to use these and just utilize it to help you find your path, but they are not a clear-cut path and stuff. Like, this is how things are going to go.
I see, yeah. They're like indications.
Exactly.
As to how things could go.
And how you might tick.
Okay.
For the 5th house, we'll go in order. So the 5th house, your romance and dating style, courtships, rituals, where to go on dates, where you might find true love, how you express passion and reveal your feelings. That's going to be your 5th house. For me, my 5th house starts at 24 degrees Cancer. So that is containing Mars. The combination of nurturing, protective qualities of Cancer in the creative, joyous realm of the 5th house results in a unique expression of passion and care. The individual's life areas, whether children, romance, creative projects, or hobbies, all receive a deep emotional connection. While this placement offers strengths such as emotional depth and nurturing, it also represents challenges like overprotection, emotional overinvestment. However, with balance and self-awareness, this placement can foster a deeply fulfilling life characterized by caring relationships and passionate pursuits. You and I are both 5th house in Cancer.
Oh, wait, hold on. Can I look at that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So while you look at this, I will just kind of delve into a little bit what that means for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what that means for both of us is we are both extremely nurturing. We both thrive as caregivers. But the issue with that is if we don't have enough self-awareness, we become people pleasers and are incapable of receiving the love and care that we should also be getting. It can become a very one-sided relationship.
Called out right now.
It can become a very one-sided relationship. So that is why self-awareness is so important in this 5th house.
That is like kind of eerie because I have to like, thank God for therapy.
Yes.
Because I have to be really self-aware of that. Otherwise, I do become a people pleaser and my relationships become incredibly one-sided, and I can absolutely see how that would affect like my romantic life too, especially my romantic life, which I have I have ran into that problem.
Yeah.
So
5th house is more revolving around self and how our courtship rituals are, our romance and dating rituals are.
It's so funny because I always felt like, you know how stereotype goes where like a man chases a woman. I always felt like the chaser.
Yeah.
Always felt like I got so much gratification about doing things for the other person. It kind of backfired quite a bit when I was dating, because I would be like, guys would be like, okay, and they would just take it, and then I would get nothing back, and I'd be like, I thought that would work, and it didn't.
So the 7th house reflects partnership, commitment, and balance. Romantic relationships, how you do commitments, how you approach to and attitude towards engagement and marriage, wedding planning, how you celebrate relationship milestones, anniversaries, etc. So this is truly like who you are in the relationship and how you commit. So the 7th house, for me, my 7th house starts at 6 degrees Libra. So that's containing the North Node. Those who have Libra in their 7th house in their birth chart will have a strong desire for connection and relationships and will seek something that is balanced beautifully or offers a middle ground when it comes to giving and taking. Your 7th house is 26 degrees Leo. This placement can be filled with pleasure, warmth, and happiness. You're extremely generous in your relationships, and you like to feel appreciated in how you take care of others. And you like your attention and generosity to be reciprocated. The only sign ruled by the sun is Leo. So having Leo in the 7th house means that someone may want to show off their relationships because they might feel like those connections help them accomplish their life goals. Astrological stars.
Okay, got it.
Just like Mars. So you being on that cusp, that's what that means. You're on a cusp.
Okay.
That means you're going to pull a lot of like the passion from Chiron, but you're also going to pull a lot of that like attention seeking and everything else from Mars. So this goes deep. Like I'm just reaching the surface of this.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I do not know enough about astrology. I know basics, but I still like if somebody's like name all of the zodiac signs and what months they're associated to, could only maybe do half.
Yeah. I sometimes struggle with, like, if somebody tells me what they are, I'm like, oh,
I can identify, like, Sag. I can identify, obviously, Gemini, because I'm a Gemini. Mm-hmm. I can identify Aquarius, Virgo, like, in regards to, like, where they are in the month.
Yeah.
But, like, most of them, I'm like, Aries is spring.
Yeah.
Like, I think, but I don't remember what dates they're between. Like, stuff like that.
I don't ever remember the dates in between. I struggle with that. But, like, if somebody's able to tell me what their sun sign is, I usually can, like, pick up some personality traits pretty much right away.
Yeah, I think they're, like, certain of them. Like, I'm, like, really, like, I'm more tuned into, like, you know, like, people I know that have them. Like, I've always really gotten along with Sagittarius. As my best friend's a Sagittarius, my mother-in-law's a Sagittarius. We get along great. Like, you know, there's, like, people in my life where I'm like, I like Sag is like me. Okay, we're good to go. You know?
It's funny. Yeah.
Sorry, anyway.
Anyways,
what we were saying.
So, for me, my 8th house starts at 16 degrees Scorpio. The Scorpio in the 8th house placement combines the transformative and emotional liberation aspects of the 8th house with Scorpio's qualities of transparency, vulnerability, and rawness. It encourages a deep understanding of self-relationships and life's hidden aspects. This placement offers immense potential for personal growth and transformation, though it can bring emotional intensity and turmoil. Regardless, it ultimately guides the individual towards acceptance, emotional liberation, and spiritual freedom. They must delve into life's deeper levels and look for relationships that can change them. Increased enthusiasm for collaborative assets such as joint money, heirlooms, and close relationships can also signify that Scorpio is in the 8th house. Those with this placement may clearly understand the potential for significant growth through these shared resources and their value and power.
Wow. Okay. That was a lot of words.
So, yes, it was. Sorry, guys. It was a lot of words. So, combining all of that, right? Me having Cancer and being very loving and wanting to give care and all of those things, and I get a little too over-attached very quickly because I want things to work out, along with my 8th house being in Scorpio can get me into trouble sometimes. Okay. I over-invest. Got it. I expect that person to invest in me as well, and if that investment isn't shared, sometimes I can't see it right away, and that's when I get into trouble. Okay. Which has happened in the past. I've learned though. I definitely did a lot of transformations in the last 2 years, which we've talked about. Like, I've completely transformed.
Hold on, I'm taking the iPad from her so I can just look at it for a moment. So then, okay, so yours, okay, so you're saying your 8th house starts 16 degrees Scorpio containing Pluto. Mm-hmm. So does that mean, okay, so sorry, I'm just so I can, my ADHD.
I think we should just do another episode just fully on
I'm literally so fascinated by this right now.
Because there's a lot to go through.
There is a lot to go through. Yes, there are. So then with yours, your Scorpio's in the 8th house, you're saying because your Scorpio's in the 8th house, you get into hot water because you don't recognize when you're being overly invested in somebody's not reciprocating.
So it's the combination of the Cancer in my 5th and the Scorpio in my 8th.
Okay.
So my Cancer in my 5th, as we both said, we're caregivers. We want to give everything we have, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to the 8th house, because that's when you, that's kind of where your intimacy, transformation, resources, all of those things, mostly resources, that's, I want to share all my resources with my person. Right. I want to give all my resources. I want us to be 100% all in. Okay. That's what gets me into trouble.
Got it. Okay. You put all your eggs in a basket.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
The only thing that kind of keeps me somewhat leveled out is having my 7th house in Libra, where that is when I can kind of step back and start to feel the shifts of
You're like, this is feeling imbalanced.
Yeah, this is feeling super imbalanced. Usually, though, the issue with that is it's too late. It's too late.
This is imbalanced. Yeah, bitch, it's been imbalanced.
Yeah. But I think that's why I've been so... I went through this huge transformation about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I really took a step back and I like looked at my relationships. And I actually really got into astrology at that point too, and really looked at my chart and figured out like, okay, why am I ticking this way? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And then once I was able to break those things down, I was able to make a lot of changes in, different like relationships habits, which anybody who's known me for a very long time has seen how different I've treated the partnership that I am in now versus how I've treated partnerships in the past. I took this so slow.
I will say, like, obviously I didn't know you that well in your previous relationships. I kind of caught you on the tail end of one relationship. But yeah, like kind of watching you go through the process of being, I guess, like careful and methodical about it versus like the idea of like rushing into something. Like I know it's like you're being cautious going into things, but I will say I think the way you went about it was like very self-aware and really like checking in with yourself and being able to identify whether this is like you're being caught up in a moment versus doing things that are like good for you.
Yeah.
And I will say, as somebody who's watched you go through that, I'm very proud of you because you've done a really good job with like really understanding how you feel, how your body feels, and like being able to connect your head and heart well. Like, so I will say, like, just as a third party person watching, as somebody who doesn't know your past in your past relationships, I think you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry on camera.
Don't cry, bitch. Don't cry. Just start laughing. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, enough about me. Stop it. Kristina's 8th house.
My 8th house.
Starts at 14 degrees in Libra.
Ooh.
So a primary strength of this placement is the ability to approach profound transformative experiences with a sense of balance and harmony. Libra's influence can guide through the intricate landscapes of the 8th house with grace and diplomacy, simplifying the handling of challenges and conflicts. It can also lead to a fair and just approach to managing shared resources, debts, and bonds. So when you look at your intimacy, mm-hmm. you are very balanced. Yes. You try to find balance between the two of you in intimate relationships. When it comes to your challenges, conflicts, money management, debts, bonds, all of those things, you also are very balanced. You want to make sure that everything is pretty much equal.
It's so funny that you say that. So it's something that I have always, one, I'm very sensitive to when things feel out of balance. And it's like the moment they feel out of balance, like I'm like, ugh, like I feel disgusting because it's like things aren't feeling very balanced. And, you know, my husband and I we're on the same page when it comes to 50-50. And I know life is not always going to be 50-50. Finances aren't always going to be 50-50. Mm-hmm. That's just how life works. Ebbs and flows, you know, highs, lows, valleys, and peaks. But I am like, we are both very much like we try to do 50-50 on everything, like, or if like get like a give and take, or if I feel like I'm taking on like if I feel like that I'm taking on more responsibility in one area, then that needs to be matched in another area. And if it's not, and I feel like if I feel like I'm pulling 80 and the other person is 20, I'm like I get really pissed off. Mm-hmm. Like I get really mad. I feel like used or taken advantage of, and even though it's obviously not the other person's intention. And that isn't just in romantic life, that's in life in general, right? My, friendships, relationships with family, things like that. So I definitely identify with that. That to me makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Guess I was getting a text message. I forgot to put all my stuff on Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of like our little overview of astrology. So I would say if you're very interested in learning about yourself when it comes to intimacy, relationships, etc., go ahead and do your birth chart and then look for your 5th, 7th, and 8th house.
Yeah. The websites that we use are Astrology Cafe, right? Is that what...
I do. I use Astrology Cafe. I also use CoStar.
Yeah, that's the other one that I've used. There's also one more. It's
we'll link it in the show
I
notes.
think it's like, I don't know, it's like astrologychart.com.
Something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something really basic. We'll put them in our show
I'm sure
notes.
you can find it just by using the Google.
If you just type in astrology chart, you'll have like the top 3 that we just talked about.
So the next little segment I have here is crystals. We all love crystals.
I love crystals.
Let me ask you something real quick.
Yes.
What do you think is the first one I'm going to talk about?
Rose quartz.
Yeah.
That's like the one that I was going to say, like before in the beginning of this episode when I was like, I can kind of identify like some crystals that would be good. Like rose quartz is the first one that popped up into my brain. Like, cause that one is like pink and love and self-love. And so that's, yeah.
So rose quartz deepens the love present with your existing relationships, and it can help manifest new relationships. I have a bunch of crystals on here, but that it is not these are not the only ones you can use.
Yeah.
So just know I just put some in here, but these are not the only ones that you have to or can use. The next one I put on there, just because it's my favorite, is emerald. Emerald enhances the compassion, loyalty, and love you feel towards your partner. It can attract new love. It encourages you and your partner to forgive easily, love unconditionally, apologize when required, and accept responsibility during an argument.
Interesting. I did not know that about emerald.
Yeah,
so.
I love emerald.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. So. Visually speaking, I love it.
And then there's garnet, makes you feel and look more desirable. It intensifies your sex drive and makes you feel secure within your relationship.
What color is garnet?
I think it's like a red.
Is it red? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moonstone.
I effing love moonstone. I love moonstone. That is like the prettiest. Oh, I just love it. Anyway, keep talking.
It helps you keep your cool during trying times. It makes you more self-aware. Encourages you to change the emotional patterns that hinder your relationships.
Okay.
Ruby.
That
helps you
surprise me.
helps you feel secure within your relationships, deepens the emotional connection you have with your partner, and builds a solid foundation for a new relationship. Turquoise keeps you calm and composed during fights, puts you in a better position to solve problems, helps you compromise if required, helps you gently voice your thoughts, helps you understand your partner's opinions and accept in an accepting manner.
I feel like I need a bathtub size filled with turquoise when I'm upset with my husband. I'm just gonna lay in it. Okay, now you can talk. Okay. Yeah. All right, give me your opinion.
I think like having turquoise would be great in like living spaces in general.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah.
So next is morganite. Love morganite. It helps cleanses your heart chakra. If you are, trigger warning, if you are a victim of SA or you are struggling to reach that part of you again, this is really, really great for you. It helps cleanse your heart chakra. It is something for a very long time I had in my bra pouch. So
really?
It connects you to a higher plane of universal love, lightens your emotional burden, helps you maintain a healthy relationship with your lover. Citrine fills you up with compassion and self-confidence. And amethyst brings you mental clarity about your life's path and enhances your self-love. Which
amethyst, I love we both start turning. Amethyst, and we have an amethyst stone right behind us for those listening.
It's got like a little candle in it, so it heats up the amethyst, brings all the good the good vibes.
Amethyst be one of my faves.
I love amethyst. So using crystals in your sex life.
Yeah.
it's great to have those around, place them in your bedroom, wherever, to like enhance the love, enhance what you're trying to get out of it.
Yes.
And again, I'm doing more of like a love focused thing here, mostly just because our analytics show that most of our viewers are heterosexual people. Both men and women. And so because of that, I think a lot of that is like revolved around a lot of love and stuff. A lot of people want more of that. I don't know, relationship stuff.
Like placing them around the space that you're getting intimate in is helpful. I was going to say too that this kind of, we kind of doing a callback to when we were talking about tantric sex.
Yes.
Like crystals are a great way to enhance that too, to like place them around the room. It's kind of like just sets a great ambiance.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so.
Okay. I feel like we're whipping through this pretty fast.
We are. I'm very proud of the fact that we've been on track.
This is the long one. Okay, so
herbs.
If anyone knows me as a witch, y'all know I am definitely very much a green witch.
You are a green witch, absolutely.
Love the herbs. So,
which is so interesting because what's interesting is like I feel like kitchen witches and green witches overlap quite a bit.
100%.
Which is like I feel like I'm like a combo of those things.
Yeah.
Like I have like a ton of herbs in my home, but I also really love using them in my cooking.
Me too. I love to bake.
Yeah,
so
you like to bake. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Girl, we should just swap.
I bring that up a little bit in here.
Okay, I'm so excited. Okay.
So the first one I have on here is chamomile. Has often been associated with the sun and is used in midsummer to represent the sun god and his virility. Not only does it soothe the nerves, but it centers the body's energy, grounds the spirit when it's feeling disrupted. It's been shown to reduce inflammation, soothe headaches, relieve stress, and clear toxins. So you guys probably seen a lot of chamomile tea. It does help with a lot of soothing. But like I said, it's also associated with the sun.
It's got a lot of metaphysical properties.
Yes.
On top of
I feel like
physical
with your Leo vibes in you, I think that this would be a great tea to have before intimacy.
I effing love chamomile tea. I drink chamomile tea like it's a life source, okay? Not for that reason, but it makes sense, though, that I like it so much.
It does. Spearmint in Greek myth.
Ooh.
Persephone.
Okay, I know the story.
Goddess of the spring and the underworld turned the nymph Menthe into a plant when she discovered her husband Hades having an affair with her. Hades softened the spell by making it smell nice, and ever since the spearmint has been associated with love, wisdom, and compassion. Yes. Internally, spearmint tends to have a similar effect, as it soothes our digestive tracts, improves digestion. I cannot say the word digestion. What is wrong with me? And alleviates stress and anxiety. As a tea herb, spearmint is delicious and is easy to grow in the garden.
Yes.
I knew you were going to
I know, I'm like all excited. I'm like, I know this one. Minty's such a bitch. At least in all of the retellings that I've I just like to portray her as a bitch.
You know what's so funny? In some of the retellings, I do start to like I
kind of feel bad for her at the same time. In all of the retellings that I have looked into and read and all of that, I feel bad for her because it's a lot of unrequited love on her end. Like, and I don't know if love is the right word, but it was unrequited lust and passion. Like, it was like she was very much obsessed with Hades and his power and what he could offer her, and it was just not reciprocated in the slightest. Like, I think he fucked her once and then he was like, I'm out.
But I think that's why it's so associated with like compassion, is being able to have compassion for all of that.
Yes.
Meadowsweet. Meadowsweet is sacred to the Virgin Mary and to many of the goddesses that predate her. It's an herb that hints at women's mysteries, and it invokes the blessings of Mother Nature. Meadowsweet was one of the sacred herbs that to the Druids. The scent of meadowsweet is also believed to make a woman more attractive. As a tea, meadowsweet has a delightful and unique flavor and a hint of sweetness. It is one of the plants that contains salicylic acid, the pursuer of in aspirin, so it functions as an anti-inflammatory and to reduce pain.
Huh. I kind of know some of these too, because I have, what is the book? The Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by, I don't remember his first name, Cunningham is his last name, though. It's a great book. It has a lot of this stuff in here.
I have a lot of, like, herb books upstairs.
They're so fascinating.
It is.
I love reading through them. Gabe and I will do this thing once in a while. We'll, like, if I'm, like, reading a book before bed, and I'll, like, pick that book. I'm like, okay, pick a random page, or, like, a random, like, herb or letter, and then we'll like go through the letters that we have.
My issue with reading those is like I then feel like I have to have every fucking herb that's in that book.
I know. You know what's bad too is like my drawer that has like a bunch of herbs is like horribly disorganized. So
no, it's not disorganized. It's just too much.
It's too much. Like I'm only using these for like a spell of some sort that is like I'm probably never gonna use it again. I'm only using it for this particular thing. And it's like sometimes that shit can be so expensive.
It's so expensive. So shout out to this little herb store right where I work in Ukrainian Village. It's this tiny little store, and I mean tiny. And most of the herbs are in the back, so you have to, like, ask for them. But it's, like, a husband and wife that owns it. It's a small shop in the middle of Chicago. It's so freaking cute. I love going in there. And they're so sweet. So if you guys live in Chicago, look it up. It's in Ukrainian Village.
Is it like a metaphysical type herb shop?
No, it's just an herb shop. It's just cool. Herbs. Like they don't, and like it looks like they cater to more cooking. Like it's like a cooking place, but like.
I'm like, is it metaphysical?
No, it's not at all. But I went in there and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a Greenwich. Like I do herbology and stuff, and they were like, oh, what do you like, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I bought some basil leaves and just, random stuff that I need for the altar.
Oh, that's cool.
And the guy that owned the shop was so sweet. He's like, do you like spicy? I'm like, I love spicy. And he's like, oh, let me just give you one of our, like, free, like, spices it's like a house special that we have that's, like, a spicy blah, 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 whatever. And it was so good. Yeah. It was so good. And he was so sweet. They were so kind. I'm all about, like, helping out or, like, supporting small businesses. So I'll put the name of their shop, like, in their information in the show notes. So if you live in Chicago, the place is super great.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Anyways, the next one I have on here is hawthorn. Hawthorn has been long associated with fertility, happiness, and abundance, and the traditional maypole was made of hawthorn. Historically, it was incorporated into weddings to encourage fertility and ensure faithfulness. Sacred to the fairies, it should be only gathered and used with reverence for the spirits that it houses. When properly and respectfully gathered, it protects the home, and the ancient Romans hung the hawthorn on cradles to protect babies. In a love potion, hawthorn is a tonic to the heart, increases circulation, dilates blood vessels, and calms the spirit. Teas and potions can be made of leaf, flower, or berry.
I can definitely see how that would be stimulating.
Yes.
In a sexual context.
Mm-hmm. Ginger. Not only is ginger one of the most warming herbs, but it lends strength to both medical and magical potions. Ginger heats up the body, improves circulation, and moves the energy to strengthen the action of the formula. Ginger is another herb that also helps soothe the digestive system, especially in cases of motion sickness or nausea. For the purpose of a love potion, it adds warming, spicy notes to increase passion.
Interesting. I do like ginger. So
I know, I love ginger.
I'm a big ginger fan.
Demena. I love this herb, by the way. I will actually send you home with some of this. Yay! Demena has been used since the days of the Maya and Aztec empires to stimulate sexuality by invigorating the brain and nerves. It promotes endurance, nourishes yang energy, and reduces stress related to sexuality. Demena is reported to increase arousal, enhance pleasure, and open the chakras. It can lift the spirits and relax the nervous system and relieve any overactive mind.
Do you use this as a tea, or do you use it as like a tincture?
So I use it in a tea, as well as I will put it in my ganja.
You'll put it like...
I will smoke it.
Huh. Okay, maybe I'm gonna do that later because I've done I've smoked with my dogs. I've smoked like lotus flower.
Yes.
And that has.
So I actually meant to make you and Gabe. I will do it today. I promise. I wanted to do it with your gift, but I didn't have time. So I will when we are completely finished today.
You're so sweet.
I have rose wraps.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to wrap you and Gabe an official love potion stick that you can smoke with Demena, the rose wrap, weed, lotus flower, and what was the other one that I had up there?
Oh my god, I'm so excited right now.
Yeah. So I was gonna make you a full little love thing, and then I was gonna put some good intentions of sexual arousal, So smoke that before you're ready to have some playtime.
I love you. You're so sweet. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh my god, I'm so excited right now. I'm not sexually, I am a little sexually excited, but I'm more I'm just really excited because that sounds really effing cool.
So going into the rose, the next one I have on here is rose. No other plant brings to mind love and romance as quickly as the rose. From traditional folklore to modern practice, the rose is the quintessential symbol of love, called the Queen of Flowers by Sappho. The rose is sacred to Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, and was known by the Romans as the herb of pleasure. History tells us that Cleopatra scattered rose petals on the floor to seduce Mark Antony, a practice still in use today. Medicinally, rose helps to reduce anger, stress, and anxiety. It's reported to regulate the menstrual cycle and aid in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. The hips of the rose are rich in flavonoids, which strengthen the capillary walls and improve circulation. Both the hips and the petals are delicious in teas, potions, or baths.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like when people think of, love, I think of big, if you're thinking of a flower, rose is a red
always
rose,
comes to
right? That
mind.
pops up, right? That's pretty stereotypical, but also that makes sense.
The next one I have is lavender.
My fucking shit. I love this. I fucking love lavender. I have a tattoo of lavender over my heart. So.
Yeah.
Well, not over my heart, over my sternum, but still. Yeah. Oh yeah, and so do you.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
The familiar scent of lavender has long been associated with love and sex. In fact, during the Renaissance, ladies of the night would wear lavender scent to attract business. The scent still inspires amorous affections today, but is now associated with purity and devotion. As a tea or potion, lavender can become quickly over floral and even somewhat soapy. So it's recommended to show restraint when using in an edible way.
Meanwhile, I'm pouring lavender into literally we got drinks today and they both have lavender in it. I love the flavor of lavender. It's so yummy to me.
It's an excellent herb to use in the bath. There's no need to be judicious. Use as much as you want, as it's healthy for the skin, reduces stress and anxiety, and awakens romance.
And inflammation, in case anybody's curious.
Yes.
I have something to say about, so I don't know if you noticed, so at my wedding, there were a couple things that I did where I really wanted to incorporate my witch lifestyle into it, but I wanted it to be in a subtle way because I had many guests there that I think would frown upon it, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So when I got married, I had saved over 2 years of rose petals that my husband throughout the years had given me. When he would buy me flowers, he would buy me a lot of roses, and I ended up saving all of them, and I had 2 big boxes filled with dried rose petals, and I was I'm going to use this for our wedding one day. We weren't even engaged yet. I was just being very optimistic. And so on down the aisle, we had spread all of the rose petals down the aisle for that, and that was my way to incorporate. That was my way of incorporating roses into our love life and into our ceremony, because it was obviously there was a lot of speciality with that. And then I the other herbs that I used. So we had party favors that we gave out. I don't know if somebody forgot to give out our party favors, but that's okay. We had like a big box of them. People took them when they went home, but they were, I disguised it as tea, which I mean it was, but it was these little vials of chamomile and lavender herbs, and then I had heart-shaped infusers. Is that right? Is that the right word?
Infusers, yeah.
Thank you. So we had sent those out, but that was like my nods to like my witchy lifestyle, and then obviously we did our, my brain is so not braining.
Oh, the hand fasting.
The hand fasting.
You did the hand fasting. You also had lavender in your hair.
I did have lavender in my hair.
You had crystals
in my hair.
Yep,
yes,
and you had a protection brain.
I did. Yes. Anyway, courtesy of Miss Ashley over here.
Okay. The other wait, are we good on like herbs then? We're happy?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot. I guess the only question that I would have is if you're, any of these, right? So most of these, it's like you can either smoke, you can ingest in a tea. Some of them I don't think you can. I'm not sure.
Be careful with smoking with some of these.
Yeah, some of them are like not good for you to smoke.
Yeah.
So, but like as options,
just look it up. Yeah, whether or not you can or cannot smoke it. Yeah. Some of these also have different nuances. Like you said, you smoke blue lotus flower, which is great. It's also great in a tea. And blue lotus actually can it can enhance some sexual derivatives, but and some pleasure, but for the most part, it kind of helps open that third eye.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more of like a third eye.
Mm-hmm. So
seems like it would be great for conversations, though.
It is. The only thing is with smoking blue lotus, especially if you're smoking it at night, it can cause extreme vivid dreams.
That is true. I have had some of the most trippiest dreams smoking it. When I was on a tea break from weed, I like rolled a bunch of herb joints just to placate the like oral fixation, and I did a lot of blue lotus, and it's like I smoke before bed, like that's what some people have a glass of wine before bed. I like to smoke, so that was like I would do that. I had the weirdest fucking dreams, and like some of them made sense, some of them made no sense. I still didn't know. To this day I'm like I don't know.
So if you remember them, write them down.
Yeah.
And then if you ever go and do a
regression.
I
want to do that so bad, but that is a conversation for another time. We can have an entire.
Because sometimes they'll match, and sometimes the reason that you're getting that image or you're getting, you're getting those things coming to your brain, it might be because it's trying to teach you a lesson from a past life.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to write that down. Okay.
We'll go into that another day.
Yeah, that's another episode.
One of the last ones I have here is manifestation. By flooding our bodies with happy chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, orgasms have the power to improve our cognition, diminish anxiety and stress, and boost our moods. So, I love talking about manifestation to people who are naysayers, because a lot of people feel like, well, you can't just wish something and then it comes into fruition. That's not how life works. No. It isn't like how life works, but manifestation tricks your brain into think it's already happening for you.
I was just about to say that. I feel like when you are manifesting, it's like self-fulfilled prophecy. If you tell yourself every single day that you're a piece of shit, you're going to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
If you tell yourself every day that you are great and powerful, you're going to be great and powerful. It is all about like your own mental mindset and how you look at life, and when you speak things into existence, you're putting that out into the world, you're putting that out into the universe. So,
yes.
Sorry, keep
and then it forces you to want to live that prosperity out.
Yes.
It makes you want to do those things. Makes you want to put in the work to have those things for yourself.
Absolutely.
I like to say that to those people who are very scientific, I look at it as in the sense of your body is releasing happy chemicals when you're orgasming. So when you're manifesting, you can literally, or when you're orgasming, you can think of all of the happiness that you want without any negative innuendos attached to it.
Yep. And you have to think about how, when you're orgasming and you are in a state of like hyper focus, whether it's like about the pleasure you're experiencing, but you can also include these other things. And when you're able to do that, like those endorphins that you're feeling, the dopamine and your other happy chemicals that you're releasing at the time, like that has to affect it.
Oh, yeah.
Has to affect
Well,
it.
also think about how often, like, you're having sex.
Yeah.
And your mind just wanders.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
So instead of wandering into, what do I got to do? Blah, blah, blah,
To think about laundry.
Yeah. Wander into your manifestations for you and your partner. It enhances everything, and it can make you feel closer to your partner as well.
Absolutely.
So with manifestation, I put in here working with the moon. I know this kind of goes back to astrology. But when you work with the moon, a full moon is a time for release, letting go of what may be holding you back, enjoy your sexual energy as a meaningful cleanse. We just had a full moon.
Yes, we did.
I'm going to get real TMI here on this podcast. We just had a full moon, and I'm on my cycle.
Yeah.
Cycle is about releasing, letting go. Full moon, releasing, letting go.
Yep.
So, this is going to probably be real gross to some of you.
TMI, but that's okay.
But if you take some of your menstrual blood
Yeah.
and do a spell with it
I've
to
heard
release.
this before. I totally have heard this before.
Yep. And it really does. It helps you release. It helps me. I did this one on releasing sexual energies that I've been holding on to about myself, not feeling good enough, not feeling pretty enough, not feeling sexy enough. I have a lot of body dysmorphia, so trying to let that go in my sexual relationships.
I think there's also something to be said about when you're putting in that amount of effort into spell work. That goes back to manifestation, because we're talking about manifestation. But when you're putting that much effort into something and energy into it,
yes,
it's like there's bound to have some like fruit bared from that effort that you're putting in.
Yes.
Whether it's big or small is up to you on how you want to receive that. But I feel like when you're like if you're using like menstrual blood in your spell work, like that's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it is.
On not only like obviously physically your body, but like that mental thought of like doing that and putting into your spell work is that's a ton of energy to put towards that.
It's also, if you're a visual person, because I'm a visual person,
Yeah.
it's also visually gratifying to be able to see that kind of go up into flames and seeing all of that because I used fire to diminish. So doing all of that under the moonlight and seeing it, it gives you a sense of like visual, I don't know, climax of like, oh my gosh, yeah, I can get rid of this stuff. I can see it.
Girl, I had my period during the eclipse this year, and I wanted to do spell work, but I had to be very careful. I'm like, this is some chaotic ass shit, because there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of chaos.
Oh, there was so much chaos. And then we went straight into Mercury retrograde.
Oh yeah,
girl, it was...
I literally was like, I really want to do spell work, and I feel like I have to be very conscientious about what I'm doing right now, because it's like when you're on your period and there's a full moon, you're definitely like a lot. I think honestly, like I think you're more powerful as like you have way more connection to the earth. I know I saw online like women who were like free bleeding onto the earth during the eclipse, like they were doing, like they were like, I'm a chaotic witch anyway, I don't give a fuck, you know.
Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah.
So waning gibbous and waning crescent, this is the time after the full moon but prior to the new moon. It's a great time to reflect on what you've left behind. Continue to look for space in your life where there could be something new or exciting. Tidy up your headspace. When you have sex during this time, look for ways to let go during every orgasm of the things that could be holding you back and clean them out bit by bit. Since you're dealing with some really personal reflection, it's a great time to step up your masturbation practice.
Nice. Very nice.
Your new moon, this is the best time to learn how to use sexual energy to manifest.
Clean slate, new moon.
Use some of the other strategies here to make a meaningful space to create what you want. This is a great time to find a partner and put some intention into your sexual practice. Think slow, steady, and long-winded sexual experiences. This is no time for quickies.
Tantric sex is great during a new moon.
Mm-hmm.
If you can remember all of these things. I'm not saying all this lines up all the time. It doesn't.
Yeah. Your waxing crescent and waxing gibbous. This is the time after the new moon, but prior to the next full moon. This is a great time to continue creating and making your dreams while also continuing to harness your sexual energy. The key here is to just keep having sex. Commitment is key. Harnessing sexual energy for manifestation at this time in the moon cycle means being able to keep showing up for yourself, both creatively.
You got it.
And sexually. Jeez.
It's okay. You're reading quite a bit on a screen right now. Don't worry.
Okay. That is manifestation. I know we talked a little bit on the pod before about how I've used my orgasms to manifest and how quickly it comes into fruition.
It's actually wild, like how fast it'll happen.
Yes.
Because you're really like I said, like you have this like pinpoint zing of like focus. Mm-hmm. Listen, like I'm not saying you orgasm, like there absolutely are times where you're just like your mind just goes fucking blank, white, hot passion running through your whole body.
Well, especially because we're subs. We go into subspace a lot.
But like seriously, if you're able to focus, I honestly writing things down before going into it too helps me a lot. Like my ADHD brain is like, you can, like, bitch, you think you can focus on, like, you know what I mean? Like I need to almost like write it down beforehand and then know going into it. Like,
so do you want to know something that I like to do to manifest?
What?
Is I will write down on a piece of paper of the things that I want for my partner and I. Oh, not just for me, like my partner and I will put it underneath our mattress.
I love that.
And then, like, you know, when we're doing the dirty, we're always manifesting.
Oh my god, okay, wait, I actually might do that. That's actually so smart. Love that.
And the last one I have on here is spell work. So that kind of brings all of this
ties
together.
It all. How to incorporate all of these things into your manifestation.
Yes. So spell jars, mantras, kitchen witch, made with love.
That's right.
And with under that kitchen witch is aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, you can make aphrodisiacs.
Exactly.
Sure. I was gonna say too. So like, I know I love spell jars. On top of like, I like aesthetically the way it looks, but I love carrying around spell jars. I actually like. I at one point had so many spell jars that I was like putting them in random places. Like I put them in a winter coat pocket, and then like a year went by because I was like no longer using it during the summer. And then like this winter, I was like, what the fuck is in my pocket near my chest? And I like looked at it and I'm like, it's a spell jar. And I was like, I should probably charge this, which is like a great way. And it was all about, it's like a self-love spell jar that I used. But I love spell jars. You could like stick them on a necklace, put them in earrings.
Oh, I love when you have like little spell jar earrings. They're so cute.
Oh yeah, you've seen the ones that I've worn before,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, I love those, and I charge them too during like a full moon, or I try if I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are great. Same with like when you say mantras, are you saying like those like you almost like a set poem or a set saying that you say over and over and over again? When I think of sex magic, I tend to think of mantras quite a bit.
Yeah, I can see that. I meant to ask before we even started this episode, so I'm going to ask right now. What is your definition of sex magic?
My definition of sex magic is like, I would say like manifesting your desires through the act of orgasming. And whether that includes a partner or you're just yourself. That's what I think.
But you feel like orgasm has to happen.
Part of it, no, but I feel like
tantric sex is, I think, would be considered more.
That's true. I think, I guess this is like my own thought process on it, where I'm like, well, if you don't orgasm and you're trying to manifest something, could it still work? Sure, yeah, but I think it's going to have a stronger result if you are able to. Okay. Does that make sense? Not trying to like shame others who like can't or something, you know, like I'm pretty sure there are plenty of times where I don't, but like, or can't, but I find that like, I don't know, with certain spell work, I feel like it would be more impactful if you orgasm, because that's like when you're reaching a pinnacle point
Okay.
of focus or like passion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it, yeah, I guess like you don't like need it in order for something to work. Like, yeah, like with tantric sex, like there's a chance where you might not even orgasm if you don't want to, and you can totally use spell work in that. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, it would. So yeah, I guess you don't need orgasm. Yeah.
For me, my definition would be harnessing energy during sexual intimacy, whether that be yourself or with others or another person, to create a bigger energy effect, I guess.
I feel like that's a really good way to define that. It's better than mine. So
very broad. It's very broad.
It's broad, but I feel like you're able to like, it has to be broad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sex is not black and white. It's incredibly gray. And so is magic. So I think that's a really great definition for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned so much.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, God, I feel like you answered so many of them just by going through what you went through.
That was the goal. That was the goal.
I feel like I had questions going in because it was all about, like, well, how do you do it? And, like, how often? But, like, it's like it really doesn't, like, if you really only need to do it, like, once in order for something to, like, listen, if it doesn't happen right away, wait a little bit, try again, right? I feel like I really don't have any questions. You answered, like, all of them.
I think also the thing about Sex Magick is also understanding that, like, things will come into fruition, sometimes not how you expect them to.
Yeah.
So
be aware of how you ask your question, how you manifest.
Also being comfortable with not receiving what you're supposed to be receiving. Being comfortable with receiving maybe
it's a no answer.
Yeah. Or I mean, think about how many times things didn't work out in your favor and you're so grateful for it.
I do have a question, actually. So let's say you and your partner, like you're having sex with your partner, and you are into spell work. You are a witch, but your partner is not. And maybe it's a one night stand. I don't know. Like, I'm making something up. But, like, is it going to be effective if you yourself are manifesting something without the other person's consent?
I think it depends on what you're manifesting. If you're manifesting for yourself, then yes.
Then it's like, whatever. If
you're manifesting for the both of you, be careful with that.
Yeah.
It's a great question because I am a pagan. I'm a witch. My partner is a Christ follower.
Okay.
So he doesn't prescribe to, I don't want to say he prescribes to a religion, and I'm speaking on his behalf right now. But he's read the Bible. He agrees with a lot of what the Bible says.
Yeah. Like Judeo-Christianity.
Yeah.
You know.
But he believes in Christ, and he's a follower of Jesus Christ. But he's also, because he's read the Bible, he also knows that Jesus carried crystals, carried rocks.
Yes.
Mother Mary was kind of a slight herbologist of herself. So, you know, we've talked about those things, and like he understands the way I do things and why I do them, and he's all on board for it. But he would never do things like, he would never sacrifice like I would. Like, right. I will sacrifice like even my own blood when I did that spell work. He would never do that because to him it wouldn't work because it would be blasphemy.
Right, like it's like certain facets of it are in I grew up Christian, so I understand that, where it's like big no-nos with magic.
And it wouldn't necessarily be because of his religion. I mean, a little bit of it is, but also it's because of the fact that it would be a disgrace to my gods.
Yeah.
So it would be like like, oh, I'm doing this, but I don't really believe it. Well, my gods would not be happy with that.
Yeah, like, they'd be like, what a waste. What are you wasting my time for?
Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Okay, cool. So that would be like, I guess my only question that I would have would be like, well, like, what if somebody's like manifesting that the person that they're newly dating falls in love with them?
Okay, that's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You cannot use magic to make anyone fall in love with you. It goes against the laws of attraction. It goes against all of the laws of magic. You can't make somebody fall in love with you, and you can't bring people back from the dead.
Yep. And if you're on TikTok and you see somebody that's telling you otherwise, don't listen to them.
You can, however, make somebody obsessed with you. You can do that. Be careful. Please be careful with those obsession spells. And also make sure that you are always protecting yourself when you're doing these things.
You don't want obsession to turn into stalking. That's for sure.
Oh, jeez. I have one friend who I did an obsession spell for. She's like, I really want him to be obsessed with me. I really want to.
And you're like, all right, be careful what you wish for.
It's all good and well until he stalks you for a fucking year, which what happened.
Yeah.
And then I have another friend that I did that for, and I warned her up and down, like, do not do this unless you're 100% completely sure, blah, blah, blah.
Like, you need to be very accepting of the results,
yes.
Okay?
There's consequences that come with it.
Yeah.
They are still together till this day.
Yeah.
I will say that she's very happy with the fact that I did it, because at first it was kind of one of those things where, like, he was into her and she was into him, but she wasn't quite sure if he was into her.
So it was like that extra push.
It was that extra push.
It was that extra push she felt she needed.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this works. Like, I was like, okay, well, I'm glad, like.
Do you have to ever, like, re-up those spells? Or, like, at that point, it's like, okay, the obsession turned to love, so.
Yeah, I think that he also was already in love with her.
He was, like, already susceptible to, like,
I think he just needed the push to show the affection.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I think, like, but obsession and love are two very different things, right?
Yep,
so you gotta be careful with that as well.
Yep. The idea of something versus actually experiencing it.
Yes.
Is very different.
Yes. Okay, so since we went through all of that.
Okay.
I want you to open your gift.
Okay, yeah, I've been like, okay, so I don't know what is in here. I have no idea. She told me over the phone a couple days ago, I think, or like during the week, that she had something for me, and I was like, wow, that's really sweet. So I'm very excited to see what this is about, considering what we're talking about. Who knows?
I'm so excited for this. Okay.
There is a sex toy. I'm just kidding. I doubt that's what you got me, but
just open it.
Okay. Okay. To Kristina from Ashley. Okay. Here we go. What's in here? Oh my. Okay. What do we got going on here? All right, let's open this one. Let's do this. Ooh. Oh, shut up. No way. You got me an eggs. Nice.
So they're yoni eggs. They're rose quartz. So if you guys don't know what yoni eggs, basically what they are is they are little eggs that go in your yoni.
Yep.
And they do a few things. They can help promote strengthening your pelvic wall.
Yes, I've literally wanted these before.
One caveat with this: too much of anything is not good.
Yeah, you could probably get like not a UTI.
Not UTI. Like you obviously keep them clean.
Yeah.
But what can happen is if you use them too much, it could be too much tension on your yoni.
That makes sense.
And it can cause them to be under a lot of stress. Yeah. So I would say like I use mine. Yeah,
like if you use them too much, you have painful sex.
So I use mine for about 15 minutes once every 2 weeks or so.
Oh my god, this is so cool! Oh my god, okay, I'm so excited.
And there should be 2 sizes in there.
Cool.
And then other stuff. So those are self-love bath jars.
Oh my god, are they bath salts?
They're bath salts.
Stop, I'm obsessed.
If you don't have a bath or you don't take baths, I also love to do just pedicures with them. So one's for you and one is for Gabe.
You are so sweet. Okay, these smell divine.
Yes.
Oh my god, what do we have in here? We have lavender. Mm-hmm. We've got, looks like rose petals.
Dried rose petals.
It looks like...
There's a lot of lavender. There's a little bit of blue lotus in there.
Yeah, I see
the blue lotus
too.
Is crunched up, so it's kind of like in there.
I still have to say like little pieces of that. Oh my god, that is so sweet, and thank you so much.
I'm so glad you liked it. And then you'll go home today with a little joint of a rose joint of love and happiness and
that is
sexuality.
So nice. Oh my god, I'm like so excited to use these. I'm excited to use all of these things.
Yay!
Oh my god, thank you. Also, wait, Excellent is the brand. Sponsor us. This is so awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Seriously, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, guys, I think that's a good wrap up for our episode today.
Sex Magick. If you guys want more information on any specific, because we would love to turn this into kind of a little series, us both being witches. We love doing research on this type of stuff. So if there's more information you like about it, you would like to get more information about Sex Magick, or you would like us to delve deep into one segment, whether that be astrology, crystals, setting up an altar for Aphrodite, any of those things, let us know. We would love to do more sessions on this. And you can reach out to us at morethanmissionary69@gmail.com or on our social platforms, TikTok and Instagram at morethanmissionary.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, we're your hosts. I'm Kristina.
I'm Ashley.
And thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.